Okay guys, just want to mention really quick, because I'm trying to do just a couple videos on the spot and talk about not just ketogenesis, but really understanding there's a difference between being in ketosis. I mentioned this in a couple videos back. There's a difference between making ketones and using them. Yes, breathalyzers do not work. Urine strips do not work for what you want them to work for. They can show if ketones are being made. They cannot show if they're being used. That's a big problem when people are running around saying, I'm in ketosis, I'm in ketosis. So with that said, let's know the difference. A person who doesn't, who's not doing the ketogenic diet, who just fasts for 6 hours, you can make ketones. But that doesn't mean the brain knows how to use them, because our bodies are now primed and conditioned to want glucose, because we've been eating over 5 grams, which is 1 teaspoon, our entire lives. People have their carbohydrates, and bodybuilders have their carbohydrates up to 400 grams a day, which is totally creating insulin resistance within the bodybuilder community, because they have this obsession to grow muscle. They use insulin, which is designed to get the glucose out of the blood, because glucose is toxic, and they use that to they carb load to secrete insulin to get the amino acids from the too much protein that they're eating into their muscle cells. And they're just an inflamed, soupy, goopy, hot mess of leaky gut and insulin resistance. Oh, and thyroid issues, of course, because they carb deplete, they carb load, and they eat carbs, and then they go down in carbs, and the brain and the hypothalamus is freaking out. So you guys got to understand that just because you make ketones doesn't mean you use them. So running around going, I'm in ketosis, I used my urine strip and it said I was in ketosis, and I was doing keto OS, and they said to use a urine strip, which is great, because it's very subjective. And I keep telling these guys, if your glucose is high, you're not using the ketones. That's why people continue to crash. They have metabolic issues. People have damage from a long time ago. Their hair falls out. They have adrenal insufficiency. They start showing hypoglycemic responses when they do keto, because they keep thinking, oh, look at my urine strip, it says I'm in ketosis. And then people become lax, and they become lazy at really trying to understand what their body's going through by putting themselves through a ketogenic protocol, which can be quite hard on the body if the brain is resisting using those ketones. If your body is not using the ketones, even on a blood glucose monitor, a ketone monitor, on a glucometer that measures ketones and glucose, but even if you check your ketones and it says that you're at a sweet spot of a 2.0 millimolar and your glucose is still high and you're still crashing, you're putting your body at risk, because you're becoming lax at everything that you need to do to get the stress down for the brain to give up its crack pipe of glucose and want to use those ketones. Because if your ketones are sweet spot or high and your glucose is low and you're still tired, you're borderline hypoglycemic, and that creates more damage to the adrenals. So we got to think about everything, guys. You can't get lazy. People are like, oh my God, so much to think about. I get these YouTube comments, this diet is stupid. Then don't watch my videos. Because for those who are interested, cool. Because there's 20,000 other diets for you to follow that show you instant results, and then you gain weight back and you have a thyroid problem now. Yes! Anytime that you treat things to alter your body like a diet trend, you create more damage, essentially. You gotta be careful on keto, guys. This is no joke. You don't play with your body. Your body will bitch slap you back. You'll leave out in this journey with more damage than what you walked in with. So be smart and learn first. And stop looking at before and after pictures. And stop using ketogenesis as a way to lose weight. Use it as a way to get healthy. And once you are right and good with your inflammation going down, then you can focus on your body fat percentage. But not as you start. It's a process. You have to learn about sleep. You have to learn about quality of food. You have to learn about fat. You have to learn basically what damage that you created years ago. Because it all matters in your keto adaptation or any diet that you do. Why aren't you looking? You guys gotta look at your own body. Look at it. Go down the rabbit's hole. Find out when the depression started. Find out when your menstrual cycle became 3 days or you started losing it. Men, find out when you start developing low libido. Find out when you start losing your strength gains. You just lift and you can't. Or you do cardio, and you still aren't getting lean and muscular. When did this start? When did the depression start? When did the anxiety start? When I ask these people who suffer from anxiety, they have no clue. They don't know what's going on in their gut, because a gut imbalance can have your adrenals respond, dump adrenaline into the bloodstream. It just takes hours. It's got an 8-hour half-life to clear out. Maybe you guys can't process caffeine. You don't know. People don't do that genetic testing to find out. People just stick stuff in their mouth because they're like, I don't have time. Well, I'm busy too, but I tell you one thing, body is number one. Nothing else matters in this life but to take care of my health first. Before anyone else or anything else, your physical health is the most important thing. And when I talk to people, they're talking about losing weight. If you just starve yourself and fast, you'll drop weight on the scale and you'll create a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Train your adrenal glands to just dump cortisol. And the gut flora, that just explodes when the adrenals are overworked. And then candida just continues to grow. Trust, when I go into the female locker room, to the toilet area, when I work out, and these are young girls, yo, I'm almost 50. And I go see what that, and you're like, you open a stall, you're like, nope, not that one. You know what I'm talking about, guys. You keep going down the list of stalls trying to find that clean one, because they're all smudged up. What's coming out? It's not a good look, but they look healthy, because a lot of you guys are young. That is subjective. Clearly, as you get older, you can see the catabolism and the shortening of your DNA very clearly as you get older on most people. Like you can look young for so long and all of a sudden, bam! You know, you've got too much DHT and you're all flabby, but you might look a little young here, or the black don't crack, but your body is not on point correct. It's not. So guys, just a little ranty poo on understanding the difference between making ketones and using them. Being highly keto adapted can take up to a year. Somebody said, I Googled highly keto adapted and it doesn't exist. I'm like, that's right, because I said it, because I've worked with over 1,000 people. It takes about that long before you could just start fast for 20 hours and you know, do super catabolic like marathon running, and your body still wants the ketones. So in the very beginning, you're trying to heal the body one system at a time. And once all those systems are healed, then and only then can you start, you know, putting your body through abuse, and your body still wants to use the ketones rather than digressing to the inflammatory glucose and being catabolic to make new sugar, which is gluconeogenesis. Okay guys, we're gonna learn more on this conversation on what's the difference between being highly keto adapted and just making ketones and not using them and still being, you know, a glucose burner, but you don't, because your ketones are high, you're like, I'm in keto. No, you're not. No, you're not. But I lost 20 pounds. I'm like, that doesn't mean that you are keto adapted. Any diet where you cut out insulin can make you drop weight, and then it comes back. And your systems have to be healed one at a time. So don't do fat fast at 1,200 calories, 75% fat. You guys are creating more damage. If you guys want to learn more, go to my Periscope, download the app, Steph the Business, Biznes, to be able to talk to me live, which I love. It's great. I love Periscope because it does live broadcasts. Bing to your phone and we go live. Or you can go to stephanieperson.com if you're considering a consultation where we can really dig deep and find out what's going on with your individual genetic profile instead of all this crap you see online. Or you can go to Steph the Business on my Facebook fan page, because I like to talk about the human body and very little about weight loss. Sometimes, but not very often. Or Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagram, because that's more just fun stuff. Okay guys, peace out. Bink.